I'm beating every PS2 game ever. Today, Crazy Taxi. This game is a classic and an absolute blast. If you've never heard of Crazy Taxi, first of all, how? In its prime, it was one of the most popular games ever. Second of all, I would highly recommend playing it yourself, after you watch the video of course. If you have played Crazy Taxi before, you know that there really isn't any way to beat the main game. The main goal is to get as many points as possible within a certain time limit. You do that by picking up and dropping off customers. You probably also know that you get a license based off your score. You can get a class E, D, C, B, A, S, awesome, and crazy. I'd say the closest thing to beating this part of the game is getting a class S or better license. That's because after getting one of those licenses, you get treated to the credits and some pre-recorded footage of your chosen car. By the way, there are 4 characters to choose from, and they each have their own taxi. They all act the same though. There is no advantage to one over the others. And I chose Axel because that's who I always played as a kid. It must be something with that hair, it's just so green and spiky. Anyways, looking at the gameplay, you can probably see what the crazy in the Crazy Taxi comes from. There is just something so fun about whipping it through the city, drifting around corners, smashing stuff, and taking jumps. All the while there is rock music playing in the background. Speaking of the music, if you aren't going to play this game, you should at least check out the soundtrack. It has to be up there with one of the best soundtracks of all time. It's crazy to me how such a simple concept makes for such a good time. This game is just so fun. For those new to the game, I'm going to explain how the money and customers work, but don't worry, it's nothing complex. First off, to pick up a customer, you have to stop your taxi within their range. The color of the circle represents how far away the destination is. The further away it is, the more money you get. As you are making your way to the desired destination, you are able to do a few things to get extra cash. You can get additional tips by passing other vehicles closely, doing jumps, and drifting. The tips start small, but if you manage to build a nice combo, the money really starts to add up. The last thing is the time bonuses. Each customer you pick up has a time limit to get them to where they want to go. That timer starts off green. If you manage to get there while it's still green, you get 5 seconds of bonus time added to the clock. If the timer turns yellow, you will get a smaller 2-second bonus. If you get there when the timer goes red, you will not get any bonus time. And the bonus time is important because, of course, the more time you have, the more money you can make. Lastly, if you run out of time, the customer jumps out of the taxi and you have to find somebody else. Okay, now that everyone knows what's going on, this run is starting to come to an end. I have no clue what my best run ever is, but I feel like this one has to be one of my best. I managed to stretch the 50-second timer to just about 10 minutes. I also got 20 customers who gave me a total of $6,400 and granted me a Class S license. I'm sure these numbers aren't the best, but I'm happy with my score, especially after not playing the game for a few years. I now consider the main game beaten. However, I'm not done with Crazy Taxi. I will also be beating all of the Crazy Box levels. The Crazy Box is full of challenges to test your taxi skills. These include doing jumps, doing drifts, driving the entirety of the map, and dropping off customers in a variety of ways. I would be willing to bet that at least a couple of you didn't know that the Crazy Box even existed. I would also be willing to bet that a lot of you, especially the more casual crowd, couldn't even beat the first level, or at least that's what I'll say to make younger me feel better. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the majority of people never managed to beat the entirety of the Crazy Box. And I think I know why. Some levels, like the first one, require a trick that they don't teach you. If you put the taxi in reverse, you can then switch back to drive and accelerate at about the same time, and you'll get a big acceleration boost that brings you to a higher top speed than just driving normally. And let me tell you, this trick is super useful. It really gets you moving from a standstill, and you need that speed to beat the timer. I really like the addition of the Crazy Box. It's a great set of challenges. I might actually like it more than the main game. There's something about small, fairly easy, but still fun challenges that I really enjoy. There are also some secret levels available in the Crazy Box. Each set of levels you beat, you unlock a special level. A set is either all levels in a column or row. These special levels are overall harder in my opinion. In order to beat them, you need to know how to go fast and how to use the special tricks. There are a few of these special levels that took me a bit to complete, especially if you compare them to the main challenges, which I beat most of them first try. Still, I managed to beat everything in the Crazy Box in just about 1 hour. Like I said, overall, it's pretty easy. But that doesn't mean it's not fun. I could easily see myself coming back and trying to get new high scores. The best part about the Crazy Box is a grand prize for beating all of the challenges. I can now transport passengers in peak comfort and style. That's right, a brand new vehicle is now available. It's glorious. I am the happiest taxi man in all the land. Jokes aside, I love the rickshaw cart as a reward. It's something to show off your achievement, and it makes the game even more crazy. A taxi zipping around and doing stunts is one thing. Some crazy man doing the same things using a rickshaw cart is a thing of beauty. To use it, while picking your cabbie, you have to press L1 and R1 together a few times. Then, when you load in, you'll have the rickshaw. Easy as that. So, that was Crazy Taxi. Do you think I did enough to consider this game beaten? I would say yes, but I would love to hear your opinion. If it wasn't obvious, I absolutely love this game. It's a classic, it's simple, it's fun, and it's always a good time. The replayability of Crazy Taxi is high. It just doesn't get old. And there being no story is actually a good thing because it makes it more addictive. Maybe a Crazy Taxi addiction isn't a good thing, but you know what I mean. Plus, one of the best parts of the game, the soundtrack. It's great background music for the gameplay. For all these reasons, I give Crazy Taxi a 9 out of 10. A fantastic game that you should definitely consider playing. And that's all I have for this video. If you did enjoy it, I would greatly appreciate any support and feedback. It actually does mean a lot. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.